Let's cross to Bloemfontein now, where our reporter Aphumelele Mdlalane is standing by with some residents. Good afternoon, Aphumelele. What's happening where you are?
Of course, Nompumelelo, all eyes will be on the president as he will be delivering the State of the Nation address. We know that there's issues that are facing many different towns here in the Free State. In particularly Bloemfontein, people have been complaining about service delivery, amongst others. But with me, I'm joined by just some residents as to understand what are your expectations, as we know that president will be delivering SONA tonight.
Hello everybody. I think President should talk about this thing bana ba hloka mosebetsi, because ke bona bana ba hloka mosebetsi ba le bangata mo Free State, and ke taba e hlohlontsang ditsebe haholo. And one other thing, tshwana ya ka president ka bua haholo ka di-tenders, ha ka fedisa taba ya di-tenders, because people ba kera mosebetsi wa nakonyana, and di-tender ga di etsa hore batho ba nang le tsona ba rua haholo, but people ba ba sebeletsang ba ska ba le letho, ba ba le nthonyana ya 6 months nyana fela, and then everything is gone. So if the president can talk about this issue, yeah, the tenders, and do away with that issue, yeah, the tenders, I think it's going to help us as the community of Bloemfontein.
And of course, you must have a family. Are you happy? Maybe your children are going to school. Are you still happy with education, the system as it is? Or also, what happens to a child after education? We know that there's many graduates who are not working. What's your take on that?
The problem is about education. They say the education is free, but we're still paying for the education. I don't know if the president can talk about, can clarify this matter. School fees, then I think it will be better. But I think education in their hand in Free State, because Free State at least, but the percentage so deep.
One resident here, Nompu, basically saying that if the issue of tenders can be looked at, because he says that at least so that it can minimize the corruption that is happening. But so far saying that education for now, it's still best in our country. But if only also President can clarify as to who has to benefit to the schemes like the NSFAS. I'm joined also by a youth. You stay in Bloemfontein, you come to town every day. We know there's complaints about services. What would you like President to talk about?
Mostly what I like the president to talk about is the unemployment rate of South Africa, because like most of our youth don't have jobs, and if you look clearly, in most positions it's elderly people, and on the other side youth is struggling. And when you check, mostly youth are the most people who are involved in crime. It's not just because like they want to do crime, it's because of that they are unemployed and they want a way out of life. So the reason why there's much crime in South Africa is because of a lack of employment. So I think that's the most thing that the president should address, how he is going to create jobs for the youth.
And are you a student? Are you happy so far?
Yes, I am a student, but I'm in a private institution. So like for myself, I'm good. But as for others who are not have the opportunity for jobs and stuff, yeah, you must look for those people, because like if the employment rate increase, then I think most things will be solved here in South Africa. The crime will be reduced and those kind of stuff. Yeah.
There's quite something common here, Nompumelelo. Everyone saying, of course, if the issue of education can be given attention quite clearly, that there shouldn't be inequality whereby one has to go to school because they have means and others can't because they don't have means. And also they say if a job opportunities, also a president can say something about that. We know that there's high unemployment rate in South Africa when it comes to employment, but all we can say is that then we will, of course, have to hear later on as to how President will unfold all what residents are, of course, crying about.
Okay, Aphumelele, thank you very much for that report, my colleague there.